Here are the answers to example B, if you'd like. First of all, the table. I'm going to put in a couple values like 0, so it's a nice value to put in. 3, 8. Hopefully you notice I'm picking values that are going to make my life easy, especially with this radical. So if t equals 0, x is going to be 1, and y is going to be 0. If t equals 3, x is going to be 1/2, and y is going to be 3/4. That's 3/4. If t is 8, x will be 1/3, and y will be 8/9. I'm also going to try some negative values, because notice they say that t just has to be greater than -1. For a negative value, I'm going to try -3/4. Again, I'm trying to pick values that are going to make my life easy. If t is -3/4, then now I have the square root of 1/4, which is 1/2. 1 over 1/2 actually is 2. And for y, I have -3/4 divided by a 1/4, so that's going to be -3. Okay, so notice we can pick lots of different values. I also want you to notice something. What if I were to say, what happens as t approaches infinity? What would x be approaching? Well, as t gets really large, this is going to be 1 divided by a very, very big number. So x is going to be approaching 0, right? So x will be approaching 0. As t gets really, really, really large here, notice we're looking for the limit as t approaches infinity of t over t plus 1. And you guys all know that that is actually 1. So what we're saying is, as t increases without bound, we're getting closer to the point 0, 1. And hopefully we should see that on our graph. The other question I want to ask is what happens as t approaches -1 from the right. Notice that's going to be 1 divided by a very, very, very tiny number. So that's actually more like infinity. And for my y values, is -1 also divided by a very, very tiny number. So it's going to be negative infinity. And again, we should see that on our graph also. So let's now take a look at our graph. Now, plotting those values that we got from our last part, so we have the point 1, 0, which is here. 1/2, 3/4, which is about here somewhere. 1/3, 8/9, which is here somewhere, close to that. We also have 2, -3. We also have the point 3, -8, which is down here. And we said that as t gets bigger, we're approaching infinity, negative infinity, or in other words, something down here. Okay, so actually, the graph looks like this. Right. Now, which way is our graph going? Notice we start at t's -1. That's all the way down here, and as t goes towards infinity, we're going to the point 0, 1. Notice we will never reach 0, 1, so I can put an open circle there. And our arrows will look like this. Now let's try to eliminate the parameter. Here we have that square root of t plus 1 equals 1 over x, which means that t plus 1 will equal 1 over x squared. So what that means is now I have that y equals 1 over x squared minus 1 divided by 1 over x squared. And that equals 1 minus x squared. So here is my rectangular equation without the parameter. Again, we have to write bounds, and as you look at the graph, you'll notice that the bounds go from 0 to infinity, but x cannot be 0. So I'm going to write all x values greater than 0. And that's it.